Yeriel, the coqui.
Intro.
Delgado home.
Night. Pleasant music plays as we start our evening with the Delgados. Mr. Delgado, a middle-aged Puerto Rican man, is watching the final moments of Wild at Heart. His wife, a middle-aged white woman, Miss Delgado, dozes on the sofa, a half-empty glass of strawberry milk sitting on the end table next to her. As the movie plays, we push down the hallway leading away from the living room. Nicolas Cage singing "Love Me Tender" fades as the muffled sound of punk grows stronger. At the end of the hall lies the unassuming portal to the greatest frog-based tragedy the world has ever seen. A faint red glow is visible around the frame of the door and in the keyhole, giving the ominous impression of a hellish portal. We push through the keyhole into anarchy. Sex Pistols blares over the stereo. 14-year-old Jeremy Delgado's room is every conservative commentator's fear realized. Defaced boy band posters cover the room, a cross hangs inverted on the wall, and the mix of black light and red light makes your stomach writhe. The blood-red glow suffuses the room as Jeremy headbangs to the music, holding a basic kitchen knife in his right hand. Before him sits the open terrarium of Yeriel, his pet coqui frog. Suddenly, Jeremy stops headbanging and stabs the knife into the air. Shit's about to get weird.
O great Sid Vicious, I beseech you, in the name of all that is plagued and wretched, send unto me your avatar. With this sacrifice, fed unto the unwilling, I open myself to your servant.
Jeremy then places the knife into the palm of his left hand, then seems to reconsider, and instead pricks his finger, drawing out a small drop of blood. He drops the knife as he turns to his frog.
Feast, unclean beast. Feast upon the corrupting bounty, the sweetest and foulest of nectars.
Yeriel gives a half-hearted hop away as Jeremy reaches for him.
Ah, shit. Hold still, you little fucker.
Jeremy finally gets a hold of Yeriel, holding out his finger. The frog just looks at it blankly.
And now, accept the Lord of Darkness into your soul.
Yeriel is jabbed in the face a few times as the bloody finger tries to find his mouth, with uncomfortable, squelching sounds as one of the jabs hits his eye.
Come on, hold still. There.
Slump! Jeremy gets the bloody finger in Yeriel's mouth. The world dolly zooms into the frog, his eyes sharpen and clarify as the music grows louder and more discordant. The fires of hell burn within the pupils as a hunger grows within him. With a sharp snap, the music cuts out. The lights switch back to normal, and we see Mr. Delgado standing in the doorway with his hand on the light switch.
All right, turn that crap off. It's time for bed. Jer, put that poor frog down. I'm not paying for another one if you... I know, Dad. God. Get out of my room.
Jeremy drops Yeriel back in his terrarium, sloppily putting the lid back on. Their conversation fades into the background as we stay on Yeriel, his unnaturally clear eyes staring into the abyss of creation.
Why do you have that knife in here? Seriously, Jer, you need to quit this kind of stuff.
We slow zoom into Yeriel's eyes as the conversation fades away. Smash cut to a top-down view of Jeremy asleep in his room. The furniture in the room makes an upside-down U shape. Yeriel's terrarium is by the window across from Jeremy's bed, and the two are connected by a desk. We switch to watching Jeremy sleep in his bed peacefully. In the background, Yeriel can be seen sitting in the terrarium, his eyes clearly visible in the gloom. Jeremy sits straight up, blocking our view of Yeriel.
Huh?
He falls back to the bed, revealing Yeriel has moved from the terrarium to the windowsill.
God, what?
Jeremy bolts back up, rubbing his ear and listening. Jeremy falls back to the bed, and Yeriel is on the desk. With murder in his eyes, the frog gives his loudest call yet. Jeremy now snaps awake, mouth open to scream at the offending frog.
God, shut up! Ugh.
As he sits up, Yeriel strikes. The frog launches forward, filling the boy's mouth. Jeremy's throat bulges as Yeriel claws his way inside. Jeremy gags as the frog pushes deeper into his gullet. The call sends agony ripping through Jeremy, and his stomach pulses with the call. A larger bulge in Jeremy's stomach as the call gains strength. Now Jeremy is clawing at his stomach, shredding his skin as he tries to dig the frog out before. Jeremy's stomach pulses. A meaty explosion erupts from Jeremy's stomach as the cry blasts him apart. He falls backward, very, very dead. Yeriel climbs out of the ruinous cavern that used to be the boy's stomach.
Would you go to bed already?
Don't yell at him. But, honey, if you could, throw a blanket over his cage. Yeriel's throat works rapidly as he hops toward the open window. He perches on the windowsill before giving one final.
That's it. I'm making frog legs.
Stop it. Stop. You can't do that to him. It's his only pet. Their argument fades as Yeriel hops down the street, a bloody sunrise in the distance. It's a rough morning for Mikhail. I am not missing the bus. Not today. The lanky, curly-haired man rushes down the street, named Destiny Drive. He's got a strong community college teaching assistant in 1986 vibe to him, complete with the porno stash and old-style briefcase. He's also about 28 years old.
Shit!
He stumbles as he almost drops his phone, plugged into his ears by dirty corded earbuds. He's juggling his phone, briefcase, and an old stained thermos. He also decides this will be the perfect time for a smoke.
Come on.
Mikhail contorts himself around his cig pack and keeps plowing on. So distracted, he doesn't notice as his heavy shoe slams down, millimeters from the face of a murder. Wham! Yeriel freezes as the foot nearly crushes him, the moment stretching on for what seems like forever. Mikhail forges on, grumbling, his lanky form reflected in the coquy's eyes as Yeriel selects his next victim. Vengeance will be swift.
No.
Mikhail jumps at the unexpected noise, destroying his precarious equilibrium. With a cascading crash, the briefcase, thermos, and newspaper all tumble to the ground. The cell phone bounces on the end of the headphone cord, tugging his head down before popping off the cord and crashing to the ground. Blue Note jazz plays through the tinny cell phone speaker.
Happy Monday, Mikhail.
He crouches and starts slowly picking up his spilled items. Yeriel watches from the grass nearby, his throat working furiously. Like a lion on the savannah, he watches his prey.
What is that?
Mikhail is getting frustrated now. His head whips around, looking for the offending sound. He takes a few steps toward the grass where Yeriel lurks, but the sound of a bus pulling up to the stop pulls him back around.
Oh, no, wait!
Mikhail rushes to gather up his things and rushes toward the stop, in even worse shape than before. As he nears the bus stop, he trips, dropping his things again. This time, the briefcase explodes open, throwing its contents across the ground. It's a surprisingly small amount of depressing items, like saltine, crackers, some scratch paper, and an old calculator.
Shit.
The bus pulls away as Mikhail crawls forward, pathetically collecting his things as he waits for the next bus. Yeriel hops into frame, seeming massive compared to Mikhail's hunched-over form. He hops mincingly toward his victim. Mikhail sits at the bus stop, trying to play Frogger on his now-shattered phone. The game's distinct sounds are the only audible noise. The briefcase has been poorly repacked, and his newspaper and some crackers are resting in his lap. Mikhail's head snaps up and looks around.
Seriously, what the fuck is that?
Mikhail jumps to his feet, spilling the contents of his lap on the ground. His head whips back and forth, eyes wide.
Who's out there? What do you want?
Blood. Yeriel wants blood.
Stop doing that!
Mikhail whips around, stomping toward the grass, but Yeriel has learned. Safe under the bus stop bench, he needles his prey.
Why is this happening?
Mikhail is breaking down. He stumbles back to the bench, his head in his hands. It's been a rough morning.
Stop! Please, just stop!
Mikhail quivers with expectation, but the dreaded noise never comes. Faintly, we hear an approaching vehicle. He closes his eyes, dropping to his knees and sighing. He starts to collect his things, then looks up, under the bench.
Ah!
Faced by the demonic visage of Yeriel, Mikhail lurches backward and is smashed by a racing ambulance, his body exploding in gory glory. The ambulance skids to a stop as chaos breaks out. Yeriel, unnoticed, hops out from under the bench. A single blue eye rolls into the gutter, and Yeriel shoots his tongue out.
Slurp!
Paramedics leap out of the ambulance, and one of them, the visibly shaken paramedic, grabs a medical bag out of the ambulance, standing over the decimated corpse. The annoyed paramedic slowly gets out of the driver's side.
Oh my God! Someone call someone! Are you serious right now? Well, we must do something.
As they argue, Yeriel looks down the street, his eyes falling on an unlit neon sign. It reads, "COQUÍ Liquors." Heeding the call of destiny, he hops down the street, searching for his next victim. Mikhail's bus rolls up a few minutes later. There's a commotion inside as Nico, a disorderly drunken man, is thrown from the bus.
Get off my fucking bus! Goddamned vagrants, stinking the place up. Hey, I'm leaving.
Nico stumbles as the driver bodily throws him from the bus. A few people who get off at the stop give him a wide berth, covering their noses and mouths.
Hey, Mama. Looks like I need a ride. You interested?
Nico leers at a young woman who grimaces in disgust. She turns and hurries on her way. For some reason, Nico looks irritated.
Yeah, eat shit, princess. I probably couldn't afford it.
He yells after her, his face visibly red. He hawks a loogie into the grass and rubs his temples.
I need a fucking drink.
In the distance, there's a faint chirping noise.
Coqui! What's that?
Nico's head snaps up, looking around. His eyes fall on the distant liquor store. The words, "COQUÍ Liquor," dark. Just as he eyes it, the sign crackles to life, as does the smaller, open sign.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
He hops off, a pep in his step, unaware of the danger he's in. Nico rushes into the liquor store, taking a deep breath. It's a seedy, run-down liquor store. A single cashier is working, a middle-aged woman who's already had a shitty day.
Ah, that's the good stuff. Hey, sweet cheeks. What? I gotta take a piss. Bathroom's out of order. Sorry.
Nico rolls his eyes.
Yeah, sure it is. Excuse me a sec.
Nico wanders outside of the liquor store. Nico steps out and steps to the side of the building. He turns away from the camera and begins urinating on the building. Cackling at his own wit, he finishes urinating. As he tucks everything away, we pan down to the wet patch of grass, where sits a very, very pissed-off frog. As Nico walks away, we see his reflection in Yeriel's eyes. The automatic doors part as Nico struts in, grinning at Sweet Cheeks.
No worries. I found the backup. Fucking prick.
Nico ignores her and wanders toward the back of the liquor store. Unnoticed by either of them, Yeriel hops in through the double doors just before they can close. In the back of his mind, Yeriel wonders if those doors are going to be a problem. But lions don't concern themselves with such questions, and neither do frogs. He gives his hunting call. Nico ignores the call, but Sweet Cheeks looks around, confused. Frustrated, Yeriel hops forward, repeating the call.
Fuck is that?
Unperturbed, the vagrant reaches the back cooler and whips the door open. He grabs a 40-ounce bottle of malt liquor with a frog on the label. Twisting the cap off, he sniffs the bottle like a fine wine.
Hells yeah, come to Papa. Oh, nasty. Piss off.
Spotting Yeriel, he snaps his foot out to punt the amphibian across the room. Yeriel dodges, and Nico's foot slams into one of the displays, knocking a bottle off the top shelf, and shifting one to a more precarious position. Yeriel's eyes reflect the teeting bottle as a plan forms. The fallen bottle crashes to the floor, exploding, and Sweet Cheeks stomps over to Nico.
Hey man, come on. It barely 7. Hey, you gonna pay for that?
Nico regards the bottle in his hand.
What, this?
She's getting pissed now. Just visible beside her is Yeriel, hopping towards the top rack.
Yes, that? Nope. You've got a fucking infestation in here. You're lucky I don't sue your ass.
Nico gestures at Yeriel, now mostly up the shelves, but Sweet Cheeks doesn't look away.
Hey, listen, asshole. Pay for the booze or put it back. I don't care. Just get out.
Nico's temper bursts out, and for a moment, Yeriel senses a kindred soul.
Would you piss off? I ain't paying for infested booze. Don't like it? Call the cops. They're out there cleaning up some schmutz, so I bet they've got better shit to do.
Sweet Cheeks stumbles back. She doesn't get paid enough for this shit. Nico chuckles as she retreats.
That's what I thought, bitch.
Nico chuckles as he raises the 40 to take a long drink. Yeriel, now hidden behind the precarious bottle, gives another call, this one softer. Nico turns toward the noise. We can see the bottle is a good foot or two above Nico's head, and from where he's at, he can't see Yeriel.
Fucking hell, what a shithole.
We switch back to Yeriel, his throat working furiously as Nico finally gets his drink. Nico doesn't sip. He throws back. It's just what Yeriel was counting on. He jumps onto the precarious bottle. And then he kicks off. It's a Herculean feat for a frog, and it's just enough to send the bottle tipping off the edge, right onto the bottom of the appraised 40. Nico, his eyes closed in ecstasy, doesn't see it coming. The heavy liquor bottle smashes into the bottom of the 40, cracking it and ramming it into Nico's mouth, breaking teeth and forcing his jaw open. Blood leaks from the corners of his mouth as he starts to drown in the malt liquor. Sweet Cheeks rushes over.
I just called the cops and... What the fuck?
Nico turns toward the clerk and she screams, running out of the shop. The drowning man turns toward the sound and Yeriel leaps, landing on the bottle stuck in the man's throat. Yeriel locks eyes with Nico. But this is no ordinary drunk. Nico's eyes narrow and he grips the bottle in both hands, ripping it out of his mouth in a shower of broken teeth, glass, and blood. Yeriel leaps off and lands on one of the shelves.
Oh, you little fuck, come here.
Nico lunges at Yeriel, but the frog is just able to evade him. This is new.
Get over here, you slimy bastard.
Nico goes on a rampage, whipping his arms through the shelves, sending bottles of liquor flying and shattering everywhere. He shouts wordlessly at Yeriel's coqui sounds during their battle. Yeriel leaps from shelf to shelf, and Nico knocks them over with abandon. Finally, Nico grabs a bottle of rum and hurls it at the frog and catches him in midair, sending him flying and crashing to the ground. That hurt.
Yeah, gotcha. Now come to Papa.
He lurches forward, stumbling in the debris. Yeriel notices flashing lights outside the door and starts hopping toward them. He's doing his best, but as he gets closer, they don't open. Yeriel is too light to set off the sensor. Undaunted, Yeriel turns to face his destiny. Nico sees his prey and speeds up. He rushes forward, his feet landing on the sensor pad. He hefts the heavy bottle up.
He's got a gun!
Nico is ripped apart by gunfire. He stumbles backward, the heavy bottle falling from his hand as he falls, an astonished look on his face.
Move! Check him!
A stampede of officers rush in. They'd arrived sooner than expected. Yeriel hops off, a little erratically from his battle, but alive. In the distance, he sees the lights from the ambulance. We zoom in to see the lights reflected in his eyes, and he hops toward them. Paramedics rush into the Delgado's living room. Mr. and Miss Delgado cling to one another, looks of disbelief on their faces. There's a police officer in the back, speaking on the phone as he waves in the shaken paramedic.
I'm so sorry. We would have been here sooner, but there was an accident. Where's your son?
Wordlessly, Miss Delgado points down the hall. The shaken paramedic nods at them and heads in. As he does, a small shape hops out of the medic bag he carries, unnoticed by the others in the home. Yeriel hops under the nearby couch before turning and staring out. In his eyes we see the reflection of Mr. Delgado.
I'm making frog legs.
A toneless crescendo grows as we zoom in on Mr. Delgado's reflection in Yeriel's eye.